My name is Marlene Behrmann. I'm a professor in the Department of Psychology and the Neuroscience Institute at Carnegie Mellon University. So I was working with patients who have lost the ability to either recognize faces or objects after some kind of brain damage. So I was studying this one individual who sustained a head injury, mostly affecting his visual behavior. So in the beginning, I had to sort of survey the nature of the disorder. One of the things that was particularly interesting to me was to understand whether or not the failure to perceive input also affected the ability to imagine visual information sort of in the mind's eye. There may be dissociations between perception and imagery. And there is a lot of complexity in the literature about whether or not these two processes, sort of seeing in the world and seeing in one's mind's eye, are the same or different. Here is one quick example. So when individuals learn to read, there is a region in the left hemisphere, the so-called visual word form area, that is detectable. And it means that there is the circumscribed region that shows a much greater response in using functional MRI, for example, in response to words compared to pictures, for example. So this so-called visual word form area almost always emerges in the left hemisphere, which makes a lot of sense because for the majority of the population, language and speech are properties of the left hemisphere, and reading should be tied up into the language system. Now, if somebody doesn't have a left hemisphere, what is going to happen? Are they going to be able to read at all? Will they ever learn to decode print? And some of our studies are longitudinal. So we study the kids before surgery, and then after surgery, basically we scan them at 6-month intervals. And we've been able to show, and have still got some ongoing work, showing that the visual word form area can emerge in the right hemisphere of these individuals. So that's pretty dramatic, because something that is almost destined to be in the left hemisphere is now turning up in the right hemisphere. So there are many open questions. But there are demonstrations now that the brain is probably more resilient than we had previously thought. And I think this is where we can really work hard to understand resilience, to understand the principles of resilience, with the hope that we can use those to customize intervention and target therapies in the longer run.